A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side, a little bit of Rita's all I need, a little bit of Tina's what I see, a little bit of Sandra in the sun, a little bit of Mary all night long, a little bit of Jessica, here I am, a little bit of you makes me your man. You could have this sort of like Naked Jakey-esque intro for all of this shit, but I don't care. Back when I was a kid, one of the very first like concepts that I had of like consumable music in a format, in like an album format, was this Sony BMG Music Compass Productions Party Starter mix, which I hope isn't getting destroyed by the green screen right now. And the reason why I think I gravitated toward it so much was just because my mom would play it on the car all the time. I listened to this so much as a kid that pretty much nearly every song is completely ingrained within my memory. And there was one song that I always would ask, that I would always request as soon as I would get picked up from school. As soon as I got into the car and my mom put in the CD, there was one track that I would immediately go to every single time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5.
I don't know what specifically made me gravitate towards Mambo number 5. I think honestly a lot of it was just the fact that I misheard Monica as Mardi Gras, and driving every time that we would go up to downtown Orlando, we would see these massive Mardi Gras billboards on the way up there, and I just would assume that he was talking about the party, and so I think I associated the imagery with that in my head with the song. Also on top of that, immediately after Mambo number 5 in this track list is the song Come On and Ride It by the Quad City DJs, which is a 2-for-1 in my opinion. Because, you know, I don't want to sit through 11 whole ass tracks just to get to the one about trains. For those reasons, Mambo number 5 has always been this sort of like concept in my head of this all-encompassing idea of music as a whole, because I would request it and listen to it so much that pretty much every single note, every single flourish, production choice is just absolutely ingrained into my head. And the thing is, with all of that, it's not a very good song.
And lyrically, what a terrible track. Sort of approaching, you know, women as if they're ice cream flavors. A little bit of this one over here, a little bit of this one over there.
And for the record, I'm not really fond of this song at all. Not to say that this is a particularly respectful entry into the mambo genre. Some will tell you it's the worst song of all time.
But this video isn't about critiquing Mambo number 5 or going super in depth into how it's written, how it performed, the history behind it. Go watch Todd in the Shadows for that. He does all of that stuff way better than I ever could, and way more professionally than I ever could. But one thing that has always fascinated me with the permeability of Mambo number 5 and how it just completely dominated the zeitgeist throughout the 2000s and even the 2010s is that there are so many different versions of it. And that's kind of what this video is about, is that I saw a couple of versions of Mambo number 5, and even some that I personally had remembered, and it got me thinking, how many different versions of this song were produced throughout its lifespan, and would it be possible to document as many as I could find? Also, I just think that that idea in and of itself is pretty funny. But before we get into all of the different parodies and covers and even the official Lou Bega endorsed remakes, we gotta talk about the original, at least a little bit. Mambo number 5 is a very interesting case study in late 90s bombast. The energetic horns, the pounding electro beat with all of these samples and very, I'm gonna say childishly raunchy lyrics.
To me, flirting is just like a sport. Anything fly, it's all good. Let me jump in, please sing in the trumpet.
All contributes to this very late 90s, early 2000s idea of excess and more and consumption. You could make the argument that Mambo number 5 is this sort of lambast and lampoon of these very historically and culturally rich and dense genres of mambo, Latin pop, Latin jazz, rumba, salsa, and just sort of taking vague ideas that sort of hearken to those genres and then just completely throwing a bunch of fucking electronics on it and ruining it and making it all garbled and barely recognizable. But, you know, like I said, we're not going to get in too deep into the subtext of Mambo number 5. That's for everyone else to do it. I'm not trying to get too deep with this one. And I know I said that it's not a very good song, and even provided examples of some very well-meaning criticism. But the thing is, despite all of Mambo number 5's eccentricities, personally, after having listened to it many, many times for the research of this video, it has kind of grown on me. The feel of the beat is completely hokey and corny, and it's this sort of lumbering swing, which isn't reminiscent of any of the genres that it's actually pulling from. There's a bit more finesse in the feel of those genres, but it still works in a way that is very, very cheesy and pulpy. The record scratches and the horrifically ugly bass tones that start the song off, as well as the various effects that get put on the horns throughout the duration of the song, really solidify it in an era of a certain sound, of a particular style. And I feel if you are able to capture an era that well to where decades after its release it is still pointed to as a prime example of that sound, then you've done something right. Also, Lou Bega, despite the proclivities that he displays lyrically on this track, does have a very fitting voice for the genre. Very deep and raspy, but just enough finesse to where he is able to make what he's saying believable. All in all, it's a really bizarre relic from the incredibly late 90s at the time that it was released, and I feel like it still serves as a testament to the stupidness of consumers. The first sort of block of versions of Mambo number 5 that I want to look at in this video are versions that were recorded by Lou Bega just out of his own accord, whether it be for money or he just thought it would be a good idea. These are, I guess you could say, official renditions of Mambo number 5. There is a Disney version of Mambo number 5 that was quite popular around the time that Mambo number 5 first started taking off as a sort of kids bop version, and funnily enough, these lyrics would be used and re-recorded throughout all of these different Kids Bop knockoffs. Kids Bop officially has never done their own version of Mambo number 5, which is strange to think. But because this Disney version exists, I don't really think there's a need for that. And I think that the Disney version is perfectly summed up by Julian and Ding Dong in this clip from Oni Plays.
There's a Lou Bega Mambo number, Disney Mambo number 5, where instead of singing about all the girls he wants to fuck, he sings about all the Disney characters he wants to fuck.
Like who?
Like Huey, Dewey, Louie. Doesn't he say in the sun?
No, he says can't go wrong.
Yeah, the subtext of this version isn't that great given the themes of the original, but you know, if you step past that and, you know, replace your liquor stores with a candy store, you could play it at a bar mitzvah, I guess. I think the video for this one as well is really interesting because it borrows a lot of the same editing techniques from the original Mambo number 5 video, but Disney-fies them, so now instead of a bunch of women shaking their asses and stomachs, you have epileptic-inducing clips of various Disney cartoons, which really confuses me because if they were trying to go for a film projector effect, then why isn't it being shown on Lou Bega as well? It's just kind of this, like, bizarrely flashing clip show of various Disney characters. Like, whose idea was this? Keeping in theme with cartoons and kids' versions of Mambo number 5, the next version that I want to look at is a promo block that Lou Bega did for the WB Kids Snow Jam, which was apparently a programming block that they would do over the winter holiday while kids were, you know, at home instead of in school. But the thing is, it's not just a specific version of Mambo number 5 and that's it. Not only did he make an introduction for this thing, he made several bumpers parodying many different songs of the Lou Bega catalog, one of which includes him ogling Misty to the tune of his song
Beauty on the TV screen.
She's the Misty on the TV screen. She's a kneading machine. She's the Misty.
But that's not Mambo number 5, so we're not going to talk about him ogling a 12-year-old. The specific instances of Mambo number 5 that were used throughout this block were the intro, and then one in which he is singing Mambo number 5 about Ash and some of the Pokemon that he catches, and Pikachu electrocutes Lou Bega, and I think that that's a wonderful thing. All of the bumpers that Lou Bega did for this are really entertaining. I suggest that you go check them out yourself, because sometimes he will have the cartoon characters join in with him, and it gives that sort of 4Kids 4th of July national anthem vibe.
Oh, say, can you see
whose broad stripes and bright stars o'er the red
and the rocket's red glare o'er the land?
Where these voice actors are really just not supposed to be singing these songs.
I even got a girl from beyond the stars.
He got a girl with wings and 3 eyes that stare, and he got a girlfriend everywhere.
Now, these next two aren't parodies or changed lyrics versions of Mambo number 5, they're just straight up performances, but the circumstances in which they were performed and the content that came from that was too much to ignore, I feel. This first one is from some random German, what I assume to be some sort of travel show, because half of the shots and half of the B-roll in this performance of Mambo number 5 is just this one coast, and they just keep cutting back to it, and it's a beautiful coast, but like, why specifically this one? I don't know. Lou Bega is also lip syncing, and it's very, very apparent, not only just to me because I recognize the recording and it's just straight, like, nothing changes about the performance, but also the lip sync at times is just ever so slightly off. Another thing to mention is the cuts to the reaction images of the crowd that he is performing this for as he walks through this like lavish pool area are very funny. The crowd tries to clap along on 1 and 3, but it is very, very apparent, if you have any sense of rhythm, that they are dragging like crazy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the car, so come on, let's ride to the liquor store around the corner. The boys say they want some gin and juice, but I really don't wanna.
There's also this shot of this dude that gets kissed by what I assume to be his girlfriend, and he just sort of looks around like, oh, like it made his day or something. I don't know. Why include that? Now, this one in particular actually is a different performance. It's not just a lip sync to the original recording. This particular performance was done with the conductor Andre Rieu, which fellow Tentacruel viewers will know why we hate Andre Rieu, but this recording is kind of interesting. The shift from very obvious samples and electronic and stiff instrumentation to a very lavish and lush and full orchestra is something that's kind of hard to parse when you're so used to the first introduction of the song being. But surprisingly, just listening off of the performances and how everything is arranged, it's a really nice arrangement of, the original Mambo number 5. But the thing is, it just feels off. Lou Bega should not be singing over this bed of instrumentation. He should be yelling over a drum machine. Another thing, too, is that if you listen to some of the entrances, it's kind of clear that either the click track that Lou Bega has or the symphony itself is not meshing, because sometimes Lou will start a phrase and then it takes like a whole half of a beat for the orchestra to pick up, and it's kind of funny.
Jump up and down.
This was another one that I didn't really have much to say about the performance itself, but these crowd reactions are incredible. This is part of this big thing that Ryu does every year or so, I think, where he brings the public out to celebrate the follies of classical music and incorporates, some pop elements, some jazz elements to liven things up a little bit. All of the performers are dressed in these exquisite, elegant gowns, and the men wear tuxedos. And the entire crowd is full of very old geriatric European people. And I don't know if it's because their brain can't parse Lou Bega as a concept, despite the fact that he's German. But the way that these people are reacting is so overbearing that I was surprised that the crowd got this lit. Oh my god. I'm surprised that the crowd was this animated for Mambo number 5. And to close this section out, I'm just going to include my favorite reactions.
Shake your head to the sound, put your hands up the ground. One to the front, one to the side. A little bit of Erica.
This one in particular is really weird because there's no congruency with the previous shots. Like, the location of where this is shot is not shown in any other reaction shot. And it just is really confusing. Like, who are these people? Why are they getting a shot? And where the fuck are they? It looks like stock footage. It just looks like someone edited it in because they didn't know what to put there.
Fall in love with a girl like you, 'cause you can run. You and me, we're gonna touch that sky. He's so gay. He's very, very gay. He's so gay. He's gay.
Now for this next section, I'm stepping away from the man, the myth, the legend, the German fountain of youth, Mr. Lou Bega, to look at a couple of covers that third parties have recorded. You can find a lot of Mambo number 5 covers on YouTube if you just know where to look, that being the search bar. But I just wanted to showcase a couple of my favorites because they're funny. This first one that I want to talk about is some Russian dude who just doesn't have Lou Bega's voice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the car, so come on, let's ride to the...
Another reason why I included this one is because he is performing smack dab in the middle of a mall with what I assume to be his own sound system and multiple cameramen filming him from multiple angles. And the pervasive sense of awkwardness that comes from this cover is fascinating to watch. As he starts listing off the, various ladies, the cameramen just ogle random women throughout the mall, some of which are observing and enjoying the performance. Others are just minding their business and walking around the mall, paying no attention to what is happening, possibly very actively trying to avoid any sort of confrontation with this man and his warbling. Hot Dad did a cover. This one isn't funny or anything. I like Hot Dad. He's cool. And the cover is a synthwave cover, and he changes a lot about it, but it's really cool. Go listen to it. England's very own Hey Dude decided to throw his hat into the ring as well with this carpool and karaoke ripoff. I have no idea what the greater context of this clip is. Lou Bega clipped it and uploaded it to his own channel, and that is all the research I care to do for this. Why does he end it with him just like mugging the camera and winking? It's so fucking weird. This next one is from a cover artist called Marzia Gaggioli, and she puts a lounge singer spin on the whole thing, with the instrumentation and beat being a bit more laid back and chill, fitting the loungy vibe. And I purely included this one because of the video, because this is some pure Bev and Bob style music shit. She wishes she was Bev and Bob.
Wake me up! I can't wake up! Save me!
There are these really nice guitar covers that I found from this guy called Naudo. He has done 2 recordings of them, and they're both actually really, really nice, and I loved listening to them. Go check out his channel, because this is apparently just a thing that him and his friend does, just recording and uploading guitar covers of these different songs. Super cool. The last one I want to talk about in this section is from this dude named Perez Prado. And he takes a really interesting spin on Mambo number 5, where he orchestrated it for an actual like Mambo style band, and he provides a lot of really raw instrumentation, and he's doing like a sort of James Brown-esque thing, going hook and ha over the mic, and it's great, has a bunch of energy, it's really cool. You guys should definitely check this one out, because it's really cool. Not as good as Lou Bega though. With this next section, I have no idea what the structure is going to be like because I didn't bother to organize the clips beforehand, but this is going to be for the commercial block, I guess you could say, with all of these being different parodies, either commercial or purely comedic, that have been used throughout the years. The first one that I do want to talk about is this commercial that Lou Bega himself did. I was very conflicted about whether to put this in the commercial block or the officially endorsed by Lou Bega block, but this is an ad for New York Life Insurance, and it features Mr. Bega parading around on these, what I assume to be Caribbean beaches, and getting handed 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 checks. I have nothing to say about this. The Office has thrown their hat into the ring with the clip of Michael Scott at the... What was the name of that stupid fucking award show that they threw? The Dundies? The Miffies? The Scotts? Why can't I remember that fucking name? Anyways, he's doing a drunken parody of Mambo number 5, but replacing all of the women's names with his co-workers. Real classy. And then, of course, later or earlier in the series, I can't bother to check, Michael's ringtone is Mambo number 5. This ad from Panago Pizza markets itself, starting off with the classic Mambo number 5 beat, and starting with a little bit of Mambo in my life, and then moving on to a little bit of Rumba, and then just straight up going for the kill and advertising their shitty looking pizza. I will say though, $1 for a whole ass pizza, a third pizza added onto your meal. Fucking Bidenomics, man. I can't understand why the fuck they decided to go with this as their decision for marketing this event, but Animal Planet decided to cobble together their own parody of Mambo number 5 to sponsor the Yukonuba Dog Show, or as I like to call it, the Numa Numa Dog Show. Event that they were broadcasting. Why anyone would want to watch a dog show in the first place? I mean, you have Best in Show. That's pretty much all of the dog show related movies, media, anything that I need to consume. But also just like at the very end when it cuts to the Animal Planet logo and it sort of slowly sinks in that a institution with a modicum of, credibility invested money into producing this parody and video to advertise like this one specific dog show. I want to know how many fucking views that dog show got. Like, holy shit. This Ford commercial is pretty much basically just a normal Ford commercial, but with Mambo number 5. It's counting the number of stars that they were rated by some fucking bullshit safety board. That's really it. Nothing says built tough like a German man masquerading as a Cuban guy talking about all the girls he likes fucking. One thing I will note about Ford though is that apparently in Australia there was this Live It campaign that used Mambo number 5 as its theme song. The only issue is that I literally cannot find any video evidence of this existing, whereas there are uploads of Mambo number 5 that call it the Live It theme, and there are various Australian forums that talk about this ad campaign, but I cannot find a single one out there. If any of you happen to know where to find this, leave a comment. Call to action. Call to action. Call to action. Subscribe. Like. This is my first video. I'm fucking killing it. Tracy Morgan did a sketch on Jimmy Kimmel, which, is nothing new. But he decided to do a sketch, or I don't know if he personally decided to do it, but he performed in a sketch where he is Lou Bega talking about how he made Mambo number 5 and all that. And, it's funny. I enjoy seeing Tracy Morgan perform Mambo No. 5 as much as the next guy, but the thing is that I was able to forget that Jimmy Kimmel was in any way involved with this sketch until he steps out of the shadows, revealing himself as the music producer behind Mambo No. 5, and my hatred for Jimmy Kimmel boiled over so much that I immediately shut out the video. And Bob the Builder did a cover. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this because it's, you know, it's like one of the things that you point to is like, oh, you know, Bob the Builder did a cover of Mambo. Everybody fucking knows. I do want to commend the animation though, because, you know, stop motion animation is hard. But yeah, it's just a cool animation. The lyrics are interesting, and this footage of a woman swooning over Bob the Builder singing Mambo No. 5 will never escape my head. I'm currently listening to a parody of Mambo No. 5 called Bimbo No. 5 about Bill Clinton's sexual escapades while in office. It's pretty obvious because, you know, Bimbo No. 5 and the first line, little bit of Monica, oh no more. You know, I commend them for lambasting the president this openly, but everyone kind of did that. This isn't new for the late 90s. I'll leave a couple of examples of lyrics if there are any ones that are funny enough, because I don't feel like listening to this anymore. This next one is for Chuck E. Cheese, called Combo No. 5, sung by the purple Barney dinosaur knockoff thing. This isn't to be confused with the incredibly racist Rucka Rucka Ali level parody of Combo No. 5, where you are ordering from a Chinese restaurant and the guy tries to get you to order Combo No. 5. There's this Guinness commercial about this dude that tries to swim fast enough before a Guinness is poured perfectly. And it uses Mambo No. 5 in a way that I find very fascinating. The raw physical and, let's be honest, masculine energy that the song emits, paired with these various shots of a shirtless old Italian man just, you know, absolutely ripping through some fucking tides, and the various shots of beer, it all culminates into something that makes me want to take testosterone until I get elongated nipples and all my hair falls out.
Hey guys, Riley from the editing chair. I forgot about the Mambo No. 5 Corolla version and Microsoft version. These are pretty funny. The Microsoft one features flashing colors and Microsoft. The Corolla one features car and fun times. Thank you.
Now, these Party City ads are fascinating to me because of their persistence. They aired from 2013 to 2014, and they pretty much hogged up any sort of holiday or party type event that you could possibly think of. Each commercial doesn't just use Mambo No. 5, but creates its own parody, changing out all of the lyrics to advertise Party City's various knickknacks and trinkets and plates, starting with St. Patrick's Day, of course, featuring a very interesting choice of accent.
We little leprechauns looking nice. Kiss me 'cause I'm Irish, what do you say?
And then, of course, what's after St. Patrick's Day but Easter? And then after that, they start slacking a little bit and decide to go with just, you know, birthday parties or kids' parties in general. And then we have an interesting one with a graduation party. I feel personally seen by this one in particular because my own high school colors were blue, gold, and occasionally white or gray. Go Greyhounds. Squad! Blocker! And this was when, in my viewing of this almost 4.5 minute compilation of these ads, where I realized they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Just summer, like not even a summer holiday, just like a summer party. I mean, I guess I see the need for that. Go, sure. And then we get a little bit more grounded with the 4th of July one. That makes sense. A little overkill on the red, white, and blue. Don't mean to sound like a bit of a communist, but, you know, it's pretty garish. This one was where I started having a hysteric laughing fit because I couldn't see the need to visit Party City for such an occasion. But they decided to go with Thanksgiving. Like, I get the need to visit Party City for all of those other examples. But for Thanksgiving? Who is having a Party City party on Thanksgiving? Why are you going to throw streamers around the house and have noisemakers and serve with shitty plastic plates? Like, they don't serve food. Why would you go to Party City for Thanksgiving? Drop a comment below if you had this type of party at Thanksgiving. I want to personally threaten you. And then we close the year off with a Christmas ad, which features a fire-ass remix with sleigh bells, which completely drowns out the actual Mambo No. 5 instrumental.
Decorations from 29 cents.
Headbands and hats for the ladies and gents.
And New Year's with 2014 glasses.
2014 glasses.
These ads have some interesting through lines, like the fact that they all end with Party City. Nobody has more whatever party or holiday for less. And then they have that stupid shitty phone come up and it's like 40% off plates. There are also some interesting bullet points that I'm pretty sure they had to bring up for marketing reasons, that they're really just trying to cram into the lyrics and it's just not working at all. Like the 29 cents that they keep trying to bring up.
Decorations from 29 cents. 79 cents for the 4th of July. Accessorize your look from 29 cents. 50% off tableware, red, white, and blue.
50% off? Let's barbecue!
Overall, a very interesting marketing campaign that I'm sure tormented the people of America from early 2013 to early 2014. And that's all the versions of Mambo No. 5 that I could think of. If you know any more, again, leave them in the comments. I would love to just keep pooling in more and more versions of this song, because I do find it to be a fascinating case study in just the complete permeation of a market space. It feels like goddamn everyone has done their own version of Mambo No. 5, and if I were a better YouTuber, I would end it with my own cover, but it is currently almost midnight, and I want to get this footage uploaded to my computer so that I can go to bed. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna do a little outro, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. This has been something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. I've always been a fan of YouTube. I've always been a fan of video content since I was like a really, really young kid. Sitting up with my iPod Touch, watching Annoying Orange under the covers way too loud, and then my mom would come in, take away my iPod, and I would get embarrassed because I wasn't allowed on YouTube either. But I still tried to worm my way in as much as I could. I had the idea for this video after watching Todd in the Shadows, who's one of my biggest inspirations. And I just want to give a shout out to him. Not that it matters, because if you're watching this, you probably already know who he is. But if you haven't, go watch his Mambo No. 5 video. It's incredible. That's where I found out about the WB Kids version. And that's also what just sort of got me started of like, there are a lot of really weird versions of this song, and so then from there I had this idea. As far as content going forward, I already have plenty of video ideas, so you don't need to, comment what I should do next, because I've got some stuff lined up. In terms of when videos are going to come out, I really don't know. I don't know how long this one is going to take to edit. I don't assume too long, but you never know. But yeah, I kind of just do things at my own pace, and I'm not doing it for money or anything like that. If I do end up gaining an audience, then that would be nice. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good outlet for me, so I'm excited. If you enjoyed this video, do the call to action stuff. I would really appreciate it, and see you guys next time.